You have an intriguing music line. Before dying suddenly in 2003, Robert Palmer is famous for his immaculate clothing, soothing voice, and theatrical presence. Sharing unheard facts. That carefully managed image began to fracture in his later years. Private admissions, subtle comments, and quiet cautions hinted at a secret battle he never shared. Public. Why did Robert Palmer keep quiet about his confession? Long. Discover his final truth with us. Born for trouble. In January, Robert Palmer was born in Batley, Yorkshire, an industrial town. 19th, 1949. His childhood was molded by order and calm. Creativity. The Royal Navy officer father instilled a feeling of appreciation for hard labor, routine, and discipline, expecting the same from his youngsters, which shaped Robert throughout his life. However, his mother was artistic. Leanings. She liked design and music, and her softer, creative side balanced the home. Palmer benefited from his father's ordered world and his mother's artistic passion. Develop a confident, sensitive personality. He learned early on that discipline and inventiveness could coexist, which would define his music and his reputation. Because of his father's Navy profession, Palmer family rarely stayed put. When Robert was young, the family moved to Mediterranean island Malta. This opened his eyes to a whole new planet. Living with folks that appreciated music daily shaped him. Come through in his songs and performances. In Malta, Robert started listening to Armed Forces Radio presented American music to British soldiers abroad. This station introduced him to intriguing early 1960s genres. Jazz, soul, blues. Nat King Cole, Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding became his heroes. They sang with love and honesty. Real feeling stories. In his teens, Palmer explored his artistic side. Other ways too. He loved drawing and painting people and scenes. From Recall, his keen eye inspired later work. His performance appearance. Around this period, he started writing. Experiment with song lyrics and small poems. Early attempts were basic, but they helped him express himself. He dreamed of performing his own music. He was quiet by nature. He discovered his voice in art and music. These early creative habits gave him the courage to start creating a refined, sophisticated, and secretive personal style. Palmer's first step, Scarrow High School, was his introduction to performance. Typical 1960s teen, he was engulfed rock and roll, and Britain's blossoming music industry thrilled them. He played covers in a local band of popular American and British tunes at school and local groups. It didn't take long for people to notice him. Despite his youth, his voice was clear, smooth, and unique. And in charge. While other vocalists yelled, Palmer sings precisely. He valued every note and syllable. He also focused on his stage presence, dressing neatly and with modest confidence. His youthful professionalism impressed bandmates and local audiences. Their early performances were vital training. They taught him to demand attention quietly. He let his voice out. Presence speaks for itself. He also learned he liked audience interaction. They cheer. Applause gave him a new purpose. Playing in local clubs laid the groundwork his lifelong pursuit of musical greatness. He wasn't content to blend. He sought distinction by skill and style. Palmer graduated school with confidence and interest. Help him succeed professionally. Background: disciplined father, creative mother, childhood in England and Malta, and early love of American soul prepared him for his particular path. Each impact shaped his personality. Traditional yet experimental, disciplined but creative, grounded but ambitious. These traits will shortly come together as he walked ready to establish his own sound and style in professional music audience. Double-edged fame. Robert Palmer's Yorkshire upbringing talent to an international music legend began in the late 1960s. By this, he was known for his silky, confident voice and love of American soul and R&B. He got his first meaningful job at Alan Bone, a renowned British rock, pop, and psychedelic band. An established group led by singer Jess Rudin. Palmer replaced Roden after he left. It was a big moment. He suddenly moved from small-town stages to the city center. London's music scene changes. Palmer joined Alan Bone for the first time. Start recording and touring professionally. British psychedelic wave band from the late 1960s. Creatively risky, colorful, and adventurous. For Robert, it was a whole new setting. He was surrounded by great musicians and producers working under pressure. Pressures. He soon adjusted to studio life, where every note and performance was scrutinized, had to satisfy labels. Here, Palmer discovered how difficult the music industry may be. First recordings with the band introduced him to commerce, management, and label meddling in music contracts. Although the group never they were huge chart stars, and Palmer's refined vocals were praised. Reviewers and insiders noticed the young vocalist with a great voice and clean appearance. London in late 1960s was a hectic, chaotic time with new sounds and opportunities. Palmer took in everything. Experience gave him confidence. Technical skill and fame pushed him to further heights. After departing Allenbound, Palmer wanted more creative control. He co-founded Vinegar Joe in the early 1970s. Another outstanding singer, Elkie Brooks. They had a dynamic onstage partnership that blended raw energy with theater. Their performances were energetic, charismatic. Palmer, once shy, became bolder. Stage. He moved elegantly in crisp suits or colorful clothes. And trust. This was the beginning of his sophistication as a performer. Vinegar British blues rock, which Joe was part of, was strong and raw. Palmer's deep voice brought class to their tunes despite the pandemonium. Rhythm. Behind the scenes, things were less glamorous. The band struggled. Financial strain, touring, and personality difficulties. Palmer frustration set in. He desired more accuracy, tighter arrangements, better sound, and less drama. The band's free-spiritedness didn't suit his rising desire. Refine and control. Vinegar Joe broke up in 1974. And although the ensemble failed commercially, Palmer gained theatrical experience, self-confidence, and awareness. He knew what kind of artist he never wanted to be. He stopped trusting image or disarray. He wants to focus on his craft, voice, and individuality. That mindset launched his next phase, the commencement of his life, his solo career. When Palmer joined Island Records, things changed. Point. Chris Blackwell, the label's founder, saw talent, developed artists with unique styles. Palmer was given the chance by Blackwell. Freedom to try. Palmer's 1974 solo debut, Sneakin', through New Orleans Alley, Sally. For a British artist to work in America was risky, but Palmer wanted authenticity. He worked with Little Feat and Meters members, famous for their soulful, groovy sound. The record combined funk, rock, and soul, natural and fresh. Palmer sounded great over the grooves. New Orleans beats. Sneak and Sally Through the Alley wasn't a hit in Britain, but it built a loyal U.S. following. American audiences and critics enjoyed the sophistication rhythm mix, complemented Palmer's Southern soul British rock blend. He released more albums. Reggae to electronic pop were explored. Every record displayed his willingness to innovate and cross musical boundaries. In the mid-1980s, Robert Palmer earned respect as a diverse musician. His greatest success was still to come. In 1985, the record Riptide made him famous worldwide. The hit single Addicted to Love was an instant classic, stylish and catchy, unforgettable. Its music video shows Palmer in a suit surrounded by one of MTV's decade-defining images, was expressionless models playing instruments. His image, a well-dressed man with good posture and a confident gaze, helped him stand out in a flashy period. Love Addict and later Simply Irresistible made Palmer famous. A Grammy winner prizes, sold millions of records, and performed worldwide. However, fame brought criticism. Some reviewers said he focused on image than substance, calling him cold or polished. But Palmer knew exactly what he did. Some interpreted elegance and control as coldness. He considered them art. He appeared, sounded, and spoke deliberately. Introduced himself. He wanted more than good tunes. He desired create full experiences. No matter the critics, he was talented. His voice remained strong, flexible, and expressive. As a soul singer, believable as rock or pop. He worked underneath his serene exterior, tirelessly to perfect his music and preserve his style. The 1980s made Robert Palmer popular and memorable, a refinement in a world of noise. He was arrived, but success came new obstacles that would test him. Discipline and health in the future. Love inside. Robert Palmer's offstage life was often as intriguing as his onstage life, yet he rarely spoke about it. Behind his polished public persona and busy business, he cherished quiet and stability, especially in his youth. Sue Palmer, his wife and mother, and he felt grounded because of his children. Their marriage began before his international fame. It accompanied him through fame's ups and downs. Pressures increased as his success expanded. With it, personal life would be a mix of quiet domesticity and pressure, being always moving. When Robert met Sue in the early 1970s, his music career was developing. Warm, clever, and peaceful, she traits that balanced his desire and restlessness. Their love grew softly without showbiz romantic drama. Once married, they moved to Malta, where Robert had lived. Loved since childhood, peaceful and private, far from their home became a refuge from the music industry's noise. Filled with art, sunlight, and early songs, Sue was his partner and emotional support throughout. Touring, recording, and media appearances for years. She was constant. He may revisit. Her friends said she was the only one who understood him. When Robert was Sue kept things grounded at home as the music world sped up. She handled home and cared after their kids while he worked abroad. Palmer, despite his fame, was a family-oriented during these years. Protecting his wife and children from public notice was rare, permitting photography and interviews. Their Malta life reflected Palmer's enjoyment of order and comfort. He liked nice cuisine, calm nights, and close pals. Family gave him meaning. Balanced fame's unpredictability. When not performing, he was known to be a kind, devoted parent who valued home life. Later, the family moved, but the tendency persisted between Bahamas and Swiss households. Robert's career pursued Sue keeping the family together secretly. Still, married to a famous musician was hard. Palmer was busy and relentless, often absent for months. Sue was patient and loyal, but the continual separation eventually showed effects. World saw a stylish, confident man. Behind the scenes, success sometimes strained his family life. As Palmer's prominence expanded in the 1980s, personal life grew beyond his ordinary domestic life. He joined elite society. Invitations to parties, special events, and elite events throughout Europe and the Caribbean. He owns magnificent mansions and he was noted for his sophisticated taste in the Bahamas and Lugano, Switzerland. Charm and quietness. His lifestyle was stylish and pleasant. The Palms, private automobiles, and calm comfort. Far from most rock musicians' wild image. Robert's look changed. In his identity, the tailored clothing, immaculate hair, and serene face were intentional. He liked clothes, and new presentation mattered. He blended designers, photographers, and nobles liked his refinement. They were friends, musicians, and models. He never demanded attention, so he carried himself like a gentleman who has entered the rock world with etiquette. The Bahamas era, he loved beauty and privacy. Writing songs was his hobby, sitting by the water or organizing small dinner parties with friends. And he lived quietly in Switzerland, surrounded by nature and art. To many, Palmer appeared to have talent, riches, family, and elegance. But he sometimes appeared aloof and frigid due to his demand for isolation. Didn't know him. He enjoyed company, but was selective about who he let in. This carefully maintaining a balance between stardom and solitude helped Robert Palmer become a gentleman rocker. He never acted recklessly in public. He was the suit-wearing man, always nice and composed with a drink of wine. But beneath that calm, his personal life was crumbling. The royal whisper. In Robert Palmer presented charm, polish, and quiet confidence in the 1980s. Known for his smoothness speak, dress well, and stay calm. While this happens, whispers rumors concerning Robert Palmer and Princess Diana. The rumor spread swiftly into one of his most talked about, yet unproven, anecdotes. Rumors started in the mid to late 1980s, when Palmer and Diana were at their best public fame. Palmer became a global music star for his sophistication and style. Diana, the most photographed woman in history, was admired for her elegance and beauty. She too struggled in the royal family and liked popular culture. Diana liked modern music, unlike royals. She often talked about her favorite artists and attended concerts and charity events with prominent performers. The gossip publications of the period reported Diana liked Palmer's music, especially his song, Addicted to Love and Simply Irresistible. She was drawn to Palmer was a confident, sensitive performer. The idea that the possibility that the glamorous princess and the gentlemanly rock star knew each other was alluring. The press, the royal, musical, and mysterious mix was great. And once the rumor spread swiftly, Some journalists said small conversation at charity galas started the tale. Social events. Palmer and Diana were well known, often attending British society events. Not much was needed. Imagine a meeting between the two. After then, speculation took up. Soon, gossip columns suggested intimate discussions, unexpected encounters, and private friendships. Nothing was proven, yet any narrative gained force from Princess Diana's name. As tabloids dug deeper, rumors got increasingly precise. Some reports reported that Palmer and Diana met at French Riviera events where the rich and famous congregated. Others reported seeing them informally talking at London charity gatherings. Stories became increasingly dramatic, encouraging late-night letters, secret phone calls, and camera-free encounters. None of them were validated by images or reputable sources. Palmer's friends stated he found the situation annoying but funny. He knew fame drew unwelcome attention. Therefore, he avoided reacting to gossip. Diana confidants also she denied the accusations, claiming she appreciated numerous artists and was friendly to several, not just Palmer. Still, the press appreciated Diana being captivated to someone so unlike her royal life. An elegant, intellectual, and reserved man, Palmer who could equal her charm but lived beyond palace protocol. Story became part of the tabloid obsession with Diana's private life. Throughout his life, he remained calm, discreet, and focused on his profession. Music. Despite his serenity, his personal life was steadily changing. Pressure, fame, and habit had created hidden challenges, which the next chapter would unveil. Secrets and smoke. Early in his music career, Robert Palmer started drinking heavily. Tour life was full. Lengthy nights, moving towns, and endless waits between shows. Alcohol was part of their culture. It filled the peaceful hours and relieved travel stress. Palmer never acted wild, risky, but he enjoyed a drink to unwind. First, it was sociable for post-show celebrations with the band or promoters and press. Over time, it became routine. Alcohol became his coping mechanism as his fame expanded. Its requirements. Cigarettes also became part of his persona and lifestyle. Palmer was recognized for his brand affinity and rarely seen without one in hand. He frequently smoked, according to reports and interviews, more than 60 cigarettes daily. He didn't conceal it. Indeed, he joked that smoking calmed his nerves and voice. One interview quoted him as saying, "It calms the nerves and helps the voice." Whether he meant it or made up an explanation, it was apparent that cigarettes were part of his creative and personal rhythm. Palmer's attempt to reconcile excess and control made his practices riskier. He was highly disciplined at work. Every act, costume, every note he sang had to fulfill his high standards. The same discipline made him think he could control his drinking and smoking. But the line between control and reliance had already been crossed. Blurred. Habits that looked innocent have begun to influence his life. Ways he denied. In the late 1980s, years of smoking and drinking appeared. Doctors cautioned him about hypertension, heart strain, and risks of maintaining pace. His friends and co-workers noticed changes. Getting short of Palmer was fatigued and angry, but he could breathe better. Brushed off these concerns. In public, he appeared calm and assured. He wanted to maintain it. He routinely denied health issues, saying he was healthy. Control. He previously said he was disciplined, not irresponsible, reflecting his self-image. He believed his precision and professionalism extended to his vices and everything else. To drinking and smoking were his choices, not weaknesses. Those around him saw fractures in that belief. He needed breaks to smoke or rest during recording. On tour, he looked exhausted, and his co-workers observed how hard it was for him. For stage energy consistency, Palmer kept going despite these warnings. He ongoing record releases, interviews, and global touring. Though discreet, his lifestyle was wearing down. The need to match his image. Smooth, unshakable rock man made him reluctant to reveal his struggles. Not a dramatic denial, just quiet and steady. Like all his actions, he refused to accept that his stress management techniques had changed. His health was suffering. His calm fall. Robert Palmer relocated to Lugano throughout the 1990s for privacy and practicality. International artists received financial rewards in Switzerland, but more importantly, it afforded him space. Needs to do his own thing. Years of constant press coverage at his peak in the 1980s, celebrity and gossip had taken their toll. Quiet Lugano streets and lake vistas helped him hide. Those who saw him there characterized him as pleasant, restrained, and quite focused. Work. He kept composing and recording, improving his style. Craft. Palmer took his art seriously despite his popularity. He wanted to keep changing, not repeating. He released Blues Album Drive in 2003, inspired album that returned to his roots. The album honored American blues and soul, music that shaped his youth. Raw, heartfelt, and bare. His previous hits were known for excessive production. Critics called it his most honest works. Palmer appeared comfortable in his peaceful life. He lived comfortably, traveled infrequently, and minimized publicity. He liked close buddies, delicious food, and long, chatty evenings. He appeared to others calm and in charge, as always. But privately, the years of heavy smoking and drinking had damaged his health. September 26, in 2003, Robert Palmer slept at the Warwick Hotel near the Champs-Élysées in Paris. He took a short trip there after finishing his album. He had supper with pals the night before. Appeared upbeat. He joked, discussed upcoming ideas, and appeared calm. Next morning, he ate breakfast, read the papers, returned to his room. He collapsed from a major heart attack later. His age was 54. Emergency services arrived quickly, but too late. The autopsy confirmed that he died naturally after a heart attack. His excessive smoking and drinking undoubtedly made things worse. Drugs and foul play were absent, although media speculated immediately. Tabloids implied overdose or concealed sickness, while some linked his death to rumors about his private life. Even his death was private for a man who had spent his life protecting it. Headline-grabbing topic. The friends and co-workers were devastated. Many were surprised by his death despite being told about his health. He appeared full of life hours earlier, planning ahead. His sudden death ended a promising career. The Palmer death news swiftly spread globally. His family, especially ex-wife Sue and their children, were devastated. There was never a fight between them. Public disagreement, and she quietly supported his work. Out of respect, the family avoided emotional words and participation. Interviews. They kept to the tradition of mourning quietly. Robert admired calm dignity. Musicians and peers worldwide industry tributes varied. Some remembered his friendliness and professionalism. Others remarked about his distinct style-substance combo. Many of his co-workers praised him. Perfectionism and his graceful self-expectation. Want deeper music dives? Legends and undiscovered life stories? Hit like, subscribe, and ring to never miss a story.